J-Man here for another Spawn review, The Scorched, number 16. I love this cover. The alternate cover was really cool, and that's the one I'm using for my icon. But man, She-Spawn, man, this is really awesome. Yeah. This would be a sick tattoo. I love She-Spawn. She just looks awesome to me. All right. So you know that I've been loving the Spawn comics. I was collecting. I had number 1 to 50. Then I sold those. Then I reacquired 1 to 35. Then I got back on with 300. So that's where we're at now. And I got all of the issues for all these other titles. The Scorch is one of my favorites, but they're all good. If there's only 4, it's hard to rank them. I think Gunslinger is my favorite. It consistently scores high for me. But you know, Spawn and Scorch are both really good. I think King Spawn's my least favorite, but still, they're all really good. We're going to review this comic using my SPACE method. My SPACE method stands for story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 for bad, 2 for amazing. When you add up all your category scores, you get a final total out of 10. That's your rating for the comic. Most comics should get a 5 or 6 out of 10. If you give them a 1 or whatever, 1.5 in some categories, they should score about a 5 or a 6. That's a standard comic. 7 or 8 is really, really good. And 9 and 10 is super fantastic. You should buy it immediately and collect the series. So most Spawn comics get in the 8s or 9s. I did give a couple of 10s because I was just so pumped for some of them. If a category gets a perfect score, let's say the, I don't know, let's say I give the artistry of this a perfect score of 2 out of 2. That doesn't mean that the art is better than Jack Kirby or Neil Adams or Alex Ross or something. It just means for this comic, it all came together. You're paying $2.99, cheapest comic out there. You're paying $2.99 for this book. What's the value of the $2.99 that you're getting? That's the score I'm giving it. Storyline, I'm going to give the storyline of this a 1.5, so above average. I like the storyline with all these guys. We've got, who do we have here? We've got, I've literally forgot all their names. I just read this. Yes, we have Necro, Margaret Love, and Mandarin Spawn are all trying to get control of, and they're trying to get this guy to join them. His name is Urizen. Let me know how to pronounce that, man. Sorry, I'm like the worst ever in pronunciation. I'm a writer, for Christ's sake. I can't pronounce names. It's bad. Anyways, and in the meantime, She-Spawn with her group, they're trying to figure out what's going on with the dead zones. And there's a little bit of a thing here where they actually say the dead zones are black holes. So that's really cool. The reason I didn't give this perfect is that I did start to lose a little bit of what's going on. And that hasn't happened with Gunslinger, for example. But for this, I did start to be like, wait, what's happening again? What exactly is going on? I think when there's 4 titles and you got to read 4 titles, each individual title starts to get a little bit lost. So it's tough to review this comic without taking into account all the other comics, but that is how the space system works. I do take into that account. So I am giving it 1.5 because I know if I went back and reread the last couple of Scorched and you know, caught up on and read Spawn, which I have caught up on, this would make more sense to me. I just lost a little bit. I'm like, yeah, what's happening again? But they do remind you, so that's good. Pacing, I'm going to give it a 1.5. This is very well paced. There isn't really a big fights. I mean, there's a fight here. There's a great, well, I'll talk about the art in a second. There's a great little fight over here, which is pretty good. But nothing super crazy, but it's not like story. It's not heavy story where you're like so bored or whatever. There is progression going on. So I'm still giving it 1.5 out of 2. So that's really good. Artistry, I'm going to give the artistry, I like the art in this book. I don't think it's as good as Gunslinger in general, but I would say it's 1.5. So definitely above average for the art. Got some good pages here. She-Spawn, Medieval Spawn, all these guys, or Redeemer, whatever, they all look, Medieval Spawn, Redeemer, She-Spawn, they all look so cool to me. Who else looks good? Everybody looks good here. Good. There's some nice pages here. There's a couple of double, pretty good. So yeah, I like the art a lot, 1.5 for that. For characters, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 2. I love all the characters in this. Like, She-Spawn's awesome. She's just one of my favorites. I think her and Gunslinger are my 2 favorites, even more than Al, which is crazy. Gunslinger's my favorite. That guy's just like so good. But man, She Spawn's awesome. I like her a lot. I like that she's the head of this team. She looks fantastic. She's a good character. You know, these Spawn comics they check all the boxes. And this is this thing with Marvel versus DC or whatever. Everyone says, oh, the modern comics are trash and all that. Well, modern comics are trash if you're looking at Marvel and DC, which majority of them are. The Superman title is like okay. Joe Fixit, that's a great book. Other than that, nothing's really jumping out at me. You know, the Superman title, just Superman, not even Superman Lost or Action or, you know, whatever. I'm so backlogged on Detective Comics. I'm so backlogged on Batman. Maybe those are good. I don't know. Wonder Woman, I'm backlogged on that. And I just don't feel like catching up. It's like I'll catch up, you know, when I feel like it kind of a thing. X-Men, which was like the bulk of my channel was X-Men. That's kind of gone down. But everyone says, oh, you know, comics aren't that good. Yeah, but you're not looking at Valiant, which just produced X-O Man of War #1, Unconquered, is bloody 10 out of 10. You're not looking at Opus. Opus Comics? Really? Opus? Dawn Attack. Death Dealer, all the Frazetta stuff. There's more Frazetta stuff coming out. You're not looking at Image Comics, friggin' Nemesis. That's a 10 out of 10 book. 4 Spawn titles, all great, right? There's been a lot of great stuff coming out of Image. I think Creepshow is Image. What else was... So this... oh, modern comics are trash. Well, sure, if you look at only Marvel, right? And say, oh, I'm like, oh, yeah, well, then you're like, well, this isn't that great. Sure. Why don't you expand your horizons? You know, like go to the comic shop. There is a section for DC and Marvel. Go to the next, you know, whatever, display or whatever. You know, I don't know what, they don't do spinner racks anymore. So whatever, the next shelf. And you're like, well, what's this comic? Grab, Don, look at this. I just grabbed this. I haven't reviewed this yet. But the last 2 issues were the damn best. Take this. This looks cool, right? Look, there's guys fighting and shit on here. This chick's awesome. Okay? And people keep saying, oh, we want the strong female characters. Boom, She Spawn. Yeah, but she's not a loser character. She's actually awesome. Oh, we need more black characters. Okay, what about Spawn? Hello, right? From 1992 or 3 or whatever that was. Okay, what about Gunslinger, right? Like there's so many diverse characters in these other companies, and they're not diverse to check a box. They're diverse because that just happens to be what the character is. No one's complaining that, oh, She Spawn's too strong and she's woke or something. It's like, She Spawn's awesome. She's just awesome. That's it. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's patting themselves on the back. Oh, we created a female character, a strong female. She's just awesome. She's been awesome since she started. Like this, she didn't become awesome just now. So character is 2 out of 2. Enjoyment, I'm giving this a 1.5. So what are we at here? 1.5, 1.5. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 10. I'm giving this 8 out of 10. It's well worth grabbing. Scorched. Oh man, this cover's so good. Maybe I should grab another one of these. This is just so awesome. I don't know. I can't get over it. I love this cover. Oh, this next cover. Oh man, this is number. Look at it. Look how awesome this looks. Oh, She Spawn is just one of the coolest designed characters in a long time. In a long, long time. Nobody would be complaining if they made this into a movie. Nobody would be saying, oh, it's a strong female. That doesn't happen in comics. That only happens in people's minds who they say, they attribute that to these comic fans. Like, oh, that's what you guys say. That is not what we say. Wonder Woman. Everyone likes one. Supergirl. You can see Supergirl right next. I like female characters, and She Spawn's one of the coolest ones. So obviously, I want more She Spawn. If they did a She Spawn self-titled comic, I would be first in line to get that. So, guys, like we need to stop, you know, talking about Marvel and DC. Branch out. Grab X-O Man of War. You cannot spend a better $4 than getting X-O Man of War. $2.99. There you go. So there's not really any excuse for you guys to not be reading the Spawn comics. If you're buying anything else and you're not buying Spawn comics, what about Nemesis? Check out my reviews of Nemesis. That thing has been stellar. Oh, modern comics are trash. Sure. DC and Marvel, but not anyone else. Pretty much every non-DC Marvel comic that I've bought has been awesome. I don't know. Go through some of my reviews. I don't review everything. Sometimes I just grab something, oh, let me read this. It's like, oh, that was pretty good. So even just ones that are pretty good are still good. So yeah, anyways, I've rambled on enough. Scorch 16, great comic. Check it out. It's amazing. Until next time.